meeting to an order at 6 p.m. We have a roll call for the board members. All board members except Susan McFarland are present. She is sick. Any public comments on closed session items? Seeing none? We'll adjourn. Good evening, everybody. I'd like to reconvene our board meeting back at 7:05 p.m. And a roll call for our board members. We have Ms. Susan McFarland is absent. She's sick, and I'm expecting Ms. Alexander to join us soon. But we'll start since we have a quorum. Our student representatives are present today. We have Navkiran Sandhu from Middle College. We had Josiah from Tokay and Layla from Bear Creek. Welcome. If Navkiran, could you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have a report on actions from the closed session, student matters, placement of non-public school students. Mr. Nava motioned and Mr. Stroh second, and the board approved the placement of 53 existing non-public school students to be renewed with a vote of 6 ayes, 0 noes, and 1 absent. We do have a spotlight, but I wanted to just point out, I think we have 2 little kiddos from a 6th grade classroom here to speak to us. Are they in here right now? Yes. Before we start, I am going to request Fawn and Rochelle to please come up to the podium and express their views to us.
I'm Fern Stolschnitt.
And I am Rachel Arsoyana, and we are 6th grade GATE students at John Merrill Elementary. We are here to talk about the dreaded reading and math diagnostic on the iReady and Star Reading tests. Grades 3 through 6 have to take a trimesterly test 3 times a year. We talked to many teachers, and all of them observed that there is a loss of learning time. Our class spent an hour every day, and it took more than a week and a half to finish just the math assessment. Let alone, we have to do the reading diagnostic and the Star Reading tests.
Our past 5th grade GATE teacher, Miss Fry, also collected data in her class. It took her class 7 days to finish the math diagnostic, 6 days to do the reading, and 1 day to do the Star Reading test.
With that being said, in total, that was 14 hours of testing. And then they have to do that 3 times a year. That is 42 hours of time lost for Mrs. Fry's class.
We got to spend a great, and don't get me wrong, relaxing summer. But as soon as we got back to school, we were hit with the math diagnostic. After barely using our brains for 2 months, we used all of our brain power at once. We understand that the diagnostics and Star Reading tests are important, but we, other students and teachers, are wondering why they have to be so often, so soon when we get back from break, and so unbearably long and exhausting.
The diagnostic takes so much time from our schoolwork and learning. Before we had 2 hours for ELA time, now we have 45 minutes. I value my education and learning time. We do have a few ideas for you guys to think about. For example, why do we have to do the reading diagnostic and the Star Reading test? It would make more sense just to do one.
I would recommend just doing the Star Reading test, as we found out it is shorter and provides valuable information on lexile and suggested reading skills for teachers to develop their instruction. We also do not understand what the point of the reading diagnostic is, because we have never used the reading part of iReady since 3rd grade. Most teachers just use Amplified Boost instead. Thank you for letting us speak for our friends, our teachers, and our school.
Fawn and Rachel, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us, and I'm sure each and every board member listened very intently. Thank you. can go home and go to sleep. We have a spotlight for our meeting tonight, and we have the English Learner Summer Success.
Yes, Dr. Ball, members of the board, Program Coordinator Evan Martinez has a dynamic team who's going to share about some of the great things happened this summer and how things are even rolling into the school year. So, handing it over to you.
Thank you, thank you. So good evening, President Ball, members of the board, and Superintendent Young. Before I get started, I would love for the individuals who are here to support us in this presentation. So those that work the English Learner Summer School Program, could you please stand? So the purpose of the program, really specifically, I'll let the slide show, you can take a read of that, but it's really to focus on, if you can go to the next slide, please. It's really to focus on reading, writing, speaking, and listening for English learners. We target specific skill sets. We obtain high rigor in our instruction, and we provide an opportunity for not only our students to learn, but for our teachers to learn as well in the team teaching model. And they also get professional learning in the summertime as we go through the process. So to get an idea of what the teaching and learning cycle is, you can see all in the bulleted areas what students are expected to do, and then what teachers are doing. And what I want to highlight is that the students are actually focused on informational text. So they look at science text and they learn to break it down. They learn the academic language. They learn how to articulate in an academic language way, either in writing or in speaking. Our teachers, on the other hand, are also learners in this program. So while they are teaching our students, they also get provided professional learning in the afternoons, where they look at what's expected to be taught the next day, as well as learning skills and strategies. So if you can click on the strategy, I highlighted there in yellow. So within 3 weeks of the program, you could just scroll through the pages. These are all the strategies the teachers use in the classroom with our students in the 3-week window that we have. And it's a very rigorous, not only for our students, but for our teachers, where they really are impacted with all the strategies. And then these strategies they can then take back to their own classrooms when the school year begins. And it keeps going and going and going. There we go. So when you get a moment, you can take a look at all those wonderful strategies. Back on the slide deck, I did a 3-year window of the growth of our program. We did start this in 2022. And as each year as we progressed in the learning of this program, each year we would increase the number of students, we would increase the number of staff. And in all, last year was our first year where we actually introduced K-3. So it was always intended for 4 through 8, but we had such a high request for our K-3 families and students to come, so we opened that up. And then this year, we grew to not only incorporate, if you want to go to the next slide, we grew students as well, but we also grew in staff. And what I want to mention is these last 2 years, we also incorporated migrant education in our summer school program. So usually migrant summer school would be a separate program, but they were incorporated with us as well. And we collaborate with Jose Maciel and his program, so he's a really key piece where he pulls me in so that we make sure we have the right facilities. We have access to food service, the warehouse with the delivering of our materials, purchasing, helping us with all that we need to purchase for the program. We also, this last year, were invited to participate in the after-school program. So Jose set it up where our kids can also attend the after-school, so they were able to stay at the school till 5. We provide transportation for our migrant students because we have the kids coming from the Hardy Lane camp, but we also have migrant students sprinkled throughout Lodi that also get transported in. And then the best part of all this is we have a partnership with San Joaquin County Office of Education, where they lead us in the professional learning and provide us the guidance as we go through the summer, as well as we start the work before summer school begins as well. So what I want is to introduce to you 2 individuals that will speak on their personal experience as teachers. So Catherine Ogrodnik is our first one, and I'd like to have her come up.
My name is Catherine Ogrodnik. I am the TOSA at Woodbridge Elementary. Ladies and gentlemen of the board, I am excited to present the success of our English language development summer school program, focusing on 3 critical components: 2 teachers per classroom, rigorous daily professional development, and a design unit of study based on science standards and on the teaching and learning cycle. Our program has yielded extraordinary results, with students demonstrating a significant transformation from limited English speaking to subject matter expertise in just 3 weeks. Our ELD summer school program incorporates GLAD-like strategies, which have proven to be highly effective in promoting language development. These strategies include interactive lessons, visual supports, and opportunities for students to engage in meaningful conversations. By using these strategies, our students have been able to develop their language skills at an accelerated rate, allowing them to participate fully in academic discussions and activities. Having 2 teachers per classroom allows for enhanced individual attention, while rigorous daily professional development ensures educators are well prepared. The design unit of study, grounded in the teaching and learning cycle, aligns instruction with students' needs. Our teachers provide explicit instruction on vocabulary development using visual supports and real-world examples to help students understand complex concepts. This focus on academic vocabulary has enabled our students to access subject matter content with greater ease, leading to a significant increase in their overall academic performance. The use of visual supports has been instrumental in our students' language development. Visual aids such as notice and note charts, sentence patterning charts, can-have-are charts, sentence frames, and pictures have helped students to better understand and retain new vocabulary and concepts. By providing a visual representation of complex ideas, our teachers have been able to reach students with varying learning styles, ensuring that all students have an equal opportunity to succeed. The most remarkable aspect of our ELD program is the transformation of our students. In just 3 weeks, our students have progressed from minimal English speaking to demonstrating subject matter expertise. They are now able to engage in academic discussions, participate in group activities, and complete assignments with confidence. This transformation is a testament to the effectiveness of our ELD strategies and dedication of our teachers. My colleague Jen Willis and I have used the lessons and strategies from this program to push into multiple classrooms across our campus, as well as used it for after-school tutoring programs to enhance engagement and learning for all students. We have also taught many lessons to our entire staff using the different GLAD strategies during our PLCs. Additionally, we have partnered with the San Joaquin County Office of Education to train Woodbridge staff in these best practices and the teaching and learning cycle, spreading the impact even further. In conclusion, our ELD program demonstrates significant success, confirming the effectiveness of our strategies. The combination of 2 teachers per classroom, daily professional development, and carefully designed units of study has transformed our students. I am confident that our program will continue to yield positive results, and I look forward to sharing our future progress with you. Thank you.
I would next like to introduce Analia Puga, who was our representative for the migrant program.
Good evening, President Ball, members of the board, and Mr. Young. My name is Analia Puga, and I've taught migrant summer school for over 10 years now. 2 words come to my mind when I think of how summer school has changed for my migrant students, for myself, and for my fellow teachers: enrichment and enlightenment. Enrichment because we get to see the confidence of our students improve in 3 weeks. Every day is jam-packed with meaningful tasks that build on vocabulary, content knowledge, and writing. On the first day, students did not have much to say about the topic of the gray wolf. However, by the end of the 3 weeks, the 20 minutes that was allotted for them to write was just not enough time for everything they had learned. As a 6th grade teacher, I love how the EL summer program focuses on having students refer back to their resources to write. And not just one resource, multiple resources. These resources include anchor charts, handouts, and notes. And migrant students, they do this. I am thankful that I had a team teacher, Mrs. Reyes, to work with, considering how many tasks we do a day. We tag team throughout the day, and this helped with our efficiency and classroom management. The curriculum was fast-paced, so there was less behavior issues, and students were excited and willing to be present every day. They didn't want to miss, especially in taking part in the projects, which included building a diorama of a gray wolf's ecosystem, putting together a gray wolf mask, and becoming an ambassador, creating a poster encouraging others to protect the wolves. When our students did this, I noticed that students used their academic language, and they did not hesitate to present to the class. No one tried to get out of it. This is because they had confidence and they felt smart. I mentioned the word enlightenment because I have become a better teacher because of the strategies and skills that I've learned. The EL summer school program incorporates time after class to meet as a team to get ready for the next day. I was not alone, and I felt supported by Amy, Carla from the county, Ebba, Mr. B, and Mrs. Luna. Thank you, Lodi USD, for providing our EL students with a program of substance. Thank you.
I should have turned off the mic for Mrs. Puga.
She didn't howl though, I'm a little disappointed.
She was howling. So you hear about the introduction of the wolves. And so our first year in doing this, we learned about the plastics, what plastics does to our environment. The second summer we did salmon, which I thought salmon, how are the kids gonna get excited about salmon? But they were excited about learning about salmon and how they impact the ecosystem. And then last year we did bees. And that was really exciting and fun as well. And this year was wolves. So every summer we target a keystone animal and how their impact to our environment. So I just want to slowly go through some of the pictures that I had of the program, but here's the big group that we had at Beckman. And so you can kind of go through different slides. Here we did an awards assembly the last day of summer school where they had different terms to call for the different students that they nominated that participated in the class. So here's our award assembly. The next is just visions of what the different anchor charts that were in the classroom and how teachers engaged with these anchor charts throughout the classroom. The next one shows the activity that they did, that what Mrs. Puga mentioned about the diorama of the ecosystem and the mask that they built. The next one is our middle school individuals, and you think about middle school, how can they be engaged? They come in with their hoodies on, heads down. You're not going to get anything out of it. It's so quiet and eerie. By the third week, you can't shut them up. They are talking, and it's talking about the topic, and they're excited and learning about the topic. We also do work with our middle school to have them think about what do you want out of high school, because they are the big dogs on their campus, and they are going to go into high school. So through our 6th through 8th graders, in middle school and high school, what do you want out of it? What are you going to get out of it? How are you going to get reclassified? Do you know what you have on the LPAC score? We want them to start thinking about their pathway through A through G. What classes are they going to be selected because of their progress? So we want to encourage these skill sets with them. And then the next few slides again are just work. This is the middle school. They did an awesome showcase from middle school where all the programs there at Millswood showed. So this was our group of kids. And then we have what a middle school period looked like. So if you could see period 1 and period 2, there's a lot of impact there. That was a 90-minute block of instruction that those teachers would go through and go through the work and the different anchor charts. And then the next one is an engagement activity we did with our middle schoolers. So here the engagement, we have our bilingual para, Noelia, there in the center. Our paras also get involved in the learning, and so our students here are engaged. And the next slide shows middle school students engaging in the anchor charts. And the last slide is we did a video of some of the students to talk about what they learned. Hopefully it transferred over. But the first one is that one right there. We could just take a listen to the student.
Hi, Nina, what is your name? Safa. And what was your favorite part learning about summer school this year?
Is when
which ones are the keystone species?
Whales.
And why is that important?
It is important because they keep stuff in balance.
Yeah, and so what would happen if they weren't there?
The whole ecosystem wasn't in balance somehow.
Nice job.
And then the next one is right next to, not that one, but right next to the big, that one right there. And then that'll be the last one.
Hi there, what is your name? Oliver, what was your favorite part of learning about wolves this summer? Why is that important? Great, thank you.
So that's just a small example. We're giving a very small example of what they come out of learning from the 3 weeks. At the first week, if you ask them what wolves are, they would say they're dogs. And that would be the extent of their learning. But just what they were able to express and share. And not only did they do this orally, they also did it in writing. So the very first day, they're given a pre-test, what do you know about wolves? Then the last day, they're given, and just like Mrs. Puga said, they write pages because they've got the academic language and they have the understanding of what the impact of the learning is. So thank you so much for your time. Thank you for letting us be the spotlight. Definitely are hoping that we can have more summers because it really is a finance issue of trying to find the money every summer to have the program. But I love the fact that not only are our students learning, but our teachers are also learning, and we're able to embrace and focus on a population that really needs that learning to take place. So thank you.
Thank you so much. That was very well done. Thank you. Any board comments?
Thank you for doing it. I know how hard it is. As Jill knows, I taught for EL for 25 years, from 85 on, and we went through so many different programs, shifting populations. I had the Harney Lane students for a lot of years, and then it shifted again with the building of each new school. So I applaud the work that you do, and when you say people learn, at least 5 of my paras, or maybe 6, went on to become teachers, 4 or 5 in Spanish, and 1 Laotian. And I know the Laotian is still in the district, and I think 2 Spanish are. So it's a learning process for everybody and beneficial. So thank you very much.
I just wanted to thank you for the presentation. It's always exciting to see how everything is going, and I love to see the numbers growing every year and just seeing what the kids are doing and producing. Science, you know, what can I say? I'm just, when you said finances, I'd love to know what your dream wishes are to help grow the program more, or even local partnerships that would help. And if you could share either now or email us with things at a dream list even. I know that's always a little hokey to say, but it would be beneficial to us, especially when we see this and keep the momentum going. Great job. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I can email it to Mr. Young if that's okay, then, yeah.
That would be
Yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks again, and thanks for taking the time to come over to the board meeting and doing the presentation. Thanks. I did have a request, Mr. Young. There was a strategies list that was provided. Can we have that? Because when I open the email, this doesn't come with any attachments.
Okay, yes, I will gladly send that to everyone.
Thank you. All right, we have some public hearings. I declare the public hearing on sufficiency of instructional materials open. Are there any board comments for this? Any student comments?
Good evening, President Ball.
I'm sorry, no, it's just for the public hearing study. It's okay, it's okay. You're going to get your turn. Any public comments on this open hearing? So we'll declare the public hearing closed. Declare the initial study mitigated negative declaration for Elkhorn Elementary School located on 1050 Davis Road, Stockton, California open. Any board comments? Any student comments on this? Any public comments? Seeing none, we declare this public hearing closed. We go to the comments from our student representatives. Navkir?
Good evening, President Ball, members of the board, and Superintendent Young. It's a pleasure to be here. Our students have begun their Delta classes, and many have started preparing for their first exams. Many clubs have chosen their avid representatives to start doing announcements, and others are in the process of doing so. And then our clubs are starting to jump into planning events for the year, as well as fundraising for their own clubs. Student government is preparing for Club Fest on September 19th. We've gotten a lot of enthusiasm from our new freshmen and members receiving a lot of help for crafts. Meetings have been going smoothly, and we are slowly going through the steps of ordering more merchandise and choosing our freshman senators. Additionally, we've begun planning fall rallies, spirit days, royalties, and game representatives have been chosen, and all the due dates have been sent out. Talent show and MC auditions are being held this week, September 4th and 5th after school. We look forward to seeing the creative side of all of our students. And then the school held an awards assembly on August 29th to recognize our hardworking students for the spring 2025 semester. The freshmen received a rally overview to help them prepare for the different aspects and get excited for our first large event. And then the freshmen also received a student government presentation to introduce them to the different positions we have to offer. And our AVID tutors were chosen last week and received a training on August 29th. And in our senior AVID, we are going through all the UC personal insight questions, and students are helping each other improve their writing. Our upcoming events are Club Fest on September 19th, Fall Rally on October 10th, and then Winter Formal on December 5th. Thank you.
John. Josiah?
Good evening, President Ball, members of the board, Mr. Young. It's a pleasure to be here. We've had a really strong start to the fall season at Tokay High, and students have been more involved than ever. Our after-school weight training program is in full swing, and it's one of the most popular programs right now, especially for the boys with those big muscles. Anyway, with students consistently showing up and building community at the gym, we also have athletic conditioning, Go Green Club, pickleball club, AVID, and many more. This gives students a chance to connect and stay active outside the classroom. We've even added before school basketball conditioning, which is already gaining traction and bringing in athletes who want to put more extra work before the winter season. These programs are creating more opportunities for students to plug into something meaningful on campus, whether it's athletics, academics, or personal growth. Moving on to our student government, our student leadership class has been thriving, and the energy has been noticeable across campus. Posters, spirit days, and event promotion has really built up a really positive atmosphere. Right now, homecoming is our main focus as it runs from September 8th to 12th. This year, we've made a big change by including sophomores in the homecoming court as princes and princesses. For the first time, there will be 4 male and 4 female candidates for the sophomore class, as well as the 4 male and 4 female candidates from the senior class. This adds more representation, brings more students into the spotlight, and creates a sense of unity across all grades. It's not about just the seniors anymore, it's about everyone having a role in celebrating school pride. We see this as a big step toward making homecoming a more inclusive and community-centered event. In addition to homecoming, we're also planning a winter formal, the Shanker Tree in October, and the prom in the spring. So there's a lot more looking forward to, especially with the students and events. Moving to performances, presentations, and events, we've kicked off our very successful back-to-school night on August 21st. It was a strong turnout, and families got to see everything that Tokay has to offer, from band, cheer, athletics, clubs, and academics. It really highlighted how well-rounded our school is. College presentations are also already in motion, with CSU Stanislaus visiting on August 26th and the University of Redlands on the 29th, giving seniors early opportunities to explore their options. Around campus, there's been a lot of excitement for the homecoming, as I mentioned already. The homecoming candidates have been campaigning with posters, For example, Alexander Waters brought a lot of energy by bringing Otter Pops to the amphitheater during lunch, which created a very fun and engaging environment for students. That type of spirit has helped make homecoming a even bigger event than usual, especially across students. Special student and staff accomplishments. Academically, programs like AVID have had a strong presence at Back to School Night, and co-curriculars such as band and cheer and other clubs are actively showcasing student involvement and talent. Our calendar of upcoming events is also packed. Homecoming week with the Spirit Days next week, the homecoming parade, food trucks at the football games, and our Halloween movie night on October 25th. Following that, we will have our trunk or treat on October 28th, which will be a very family-friendly centered event. And yeah, we're also gonna just be trying to have more dances like the winter formal and the shake or treat, and then prom in the spring. And yeah, that's about it. In closing, Tokyo High has started the year strong with thriving programs, inclusive student government initiatives like adding the sophomores for homecoming court, and successful events such as Back to School Night, and exciting calendar, and has led to an exciting calendar ahead that builds school spirit and unity across the campus. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry, a little extensive, sorry.
That's all right, Josiah. Layla?
Good evening, President Ball, members of the board, and Superintendent Neil Young. My name is Layla Shelton, and I'm the ASB president of Bear Creek, and this is my student rep report. So for programs, our theater program has begun production of our fall show, The Brothers Grimm. Rehearsals are ongoing, and we are looking forward to our annual Bear Creek live show. The date is TBD. So our fall sports, including cross country, girls volleyball, girls golf, water polo, girls tennis, football, and flag football have officially kicked off their season, and here's what some of the coaches had to say about what's ahead. When flag football coach Mike was asked how's the upcoming season looking, he said, "The season looks promising." When Coach Hampton was asked, "What is one quote you would tell your team in this moment?" he said, "In life, winning and losing will both happen. What is never acceptable is quitting." He encouraged his players to never give up. When girls golf coach Sehan was asked, "What do you want to be remembered by?" he said, "I want to be remembered for helping all his student athletes have a positive and fun experience in high school." These coaches show that the season is more than just wins. It's about growth, perseverance, and creating a great experience for our student athletes. Student government. So last week we welcomed our new freshmen to student government. This year we had a record amount of interest with over 50 applicants. Out of the 40-some, we have chosen 12 to represent the class of 2029. Our freshman class president for the 2025-2026 school year will be Vinny Pickham. In 8th grade, he was in leadership, and he also was chosen to deliver his school's commencement speech. Vinny plans on continuing this path as freshman class president and becoming an active member of the Bear Creek community. Our student government has been working very, very hard on creating posters, decorations, and brainstorming ideas to prepare for our upcoming HOCO rally and homecoming dance. This is what most of our time in student government has consisted of for the past couple of weeks. For performances, our annual club wish was held last week from August 25th to August 29th. Bear Creek had a blast. This event is truly looked forward to by our students because it gives them a chance to join amazing clubs and become more involved on campus. We had a total of 46 clubs, 30 being returning and 16 being new clubs. All the students were excited to see all the clubs BC had to offer, along with some performances that previewed our annual international rally that will take place in March. This event was led by our ASB Vice President, Audrina Madrano. On August 29th, we had our Spirit G Night. Students had the opportunity to come and paint their jeans before our first football home game. These jeans are a great way to show off our school spirit by wearing them to rallies and games. This event was led by our sophomore class president, Jasmine Lime. Upcoming events. So as a student government, we are very excited for our homecoming dance, which will be held on September 27th. This year, we plan on bringing back our homecoming parade, which will be during our homecoming football game. This will include our homecoming court. Our commissioners of activities, Gehinde Fekunle and Ariana Palencia, are working extremely hard to plan an unforgettable homecoming dance and rally. As we look into October, we have decided to host a trunk or treat at Bear Creek. We want this event to advertise our leadership classes, staff, and performances clubs that love giving back to the community. The student government is also looking to coordinate a haunted house on that same night. We have big plans for Bear Creek Homecoming, and I hope to share them all with you soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Leila. Any questions from board members?
Yeah, for Josiah. Josiah, you had a big football game, right? What was the result of that?
Yes, we did, Mr. Porter.
So what happened in the freshman game? How'd we do?
We won.
Who'd you beat, though?
We beat the red school down the street that we don't, are not big fans
What
of.
about JV? What about JV? Who'd you beat?
We won.
All right, who'd you beat?
Lodi, the
Very
red
good.
school.
And varsity, how'd it go?
13-7.
Very good. All right. So you guys came out on top on all three, right?
Yes, sir, we did.
Thank you,
I think we've established our dominance this year.
Just real quick, and it's kind of open for everybody, just because I'm ignorant about this, but is pickleball catching on with your generation? You mentioned it, because I've seen building courts everywhere.
Yeah, I've seen like 3 different parks across like Stockton and Lodi that like began building the pickleball courts, and I'm a big fan of pickleball. I love pickleball. It's super fun. You know, it's not too hard on the knees, which is, as a wrestler, it's pretty tough on my knees. So, you know, pickleball is very, very fun, and I encourage everyone to start playing. And yes, it's very popular among students.
Thank you.
Well, careful there, you're treading waters with the tennis players, so. Pickleball did get kicked out of Salt Lake City, by the way, if you don't know. Pickleball is, Salt Lake City asked all pickleball players to not play in that city. Was what I was doing yesterday. But no, pickleball is fun. Thank you though, all of you, for your reports, and it's okay if they're long, we are happy to hear them. We have our superintendent's report.
Yes, Dr. Ball, members of the board, I'm here to talk about pickleball. No, I am not. I do want to share, however, I did have an opportunity on August 22nd to go see and participate in the Lodi High School versus Tokay High School football game. And I do want to give Mr. Johnston and all those who helped out just kudos for an amazing event. It was great to see our students and our families and everyone participating. And yes, Tokay was victorious. It was a very close game, came down to inches, but it was a great event, and it was representing Lodi Unified School District very well. I was so confident in it that I dropped my 8th grade daughter off, and within 2 seconds, she departed, and I didn't see her for quite some time. This tells me how much she wanted to spend time with me. As well, I would like to give a big thank you to all who helped out, because our college and career night was a great success. It was great to see so many students and families, so many colleges and universities, so many career booths. It was great to see our employee groups, CSEA, LPPA, LEA. I hope I didn't miss any other groups that were present there, but I did see them all in force, because we do have great opportunities for students as they become adults to think about opportunities right here in our school district. I do want to thank Lodi High School for hosting it this year. I also want to thank those from Ed Services who assisted, and our college and career team for getting involved. And she's often quiet behind the scenes, but she speaks loudly with her actions. And Cindy Metler is such a great advocate for our college and career night. And so I want to make sure to highlight her. I had the pleasure when I was responsible for college and career back in 2009 to work alongside her, and she is amazing, and it showed again this year. Finally, board, I wanted to let you know that I know a lot of people are anxious about what is going to happen between our district negotiation team and Leah. We are at impasse, however. The first step is what's called mediation. That is supposed to take place on September 12th. But just want to make you aware that we did provide the mediator our proposal so that Leah could get their hands on it in advance of mediation so that they had time to look at it and see it so that we can have a productive time in mediation with the Lodi Education Association. So we just wanted to make sure everyone was aware of that, and our ultimate goal is that we can settle and move beyond where we sit right now, because no one likes the tension that exists. Thank you. I have nothing further.
Thank you. All right, we're moving on to public comments. On consent agenda A, the public may address the board on consent agenda A, routine business. Each public shall limit comments to 3 minutes, and please speak your first and last name as you start.
Good evening, President Dr. Ball, members of the board, Superintendent Young. I wanted to make a comment about the changes to board policy. Having worked in the private sector for as many years now as I've taught, many companies have a vision, a philosophy, and goals. And I think they're great things. However, I do think that this should not be done in a silo, that you should have your employees involved in developing these, because of course we are the ones who are going to have to implement them. And another thing that happens is in many private companies is that the leadership gets evaluated on how well their goals, particularly their goals, but especially their vision, how they lead that vision and how they implement those goals. And I'm hoping that as you develop these, that you do use it as a tool to measure your leadership, because that is important. It's one thing to say we have a vision and a goal, but if they are just words on a paper, they don't mean anything. So I'm hoping that you do take this to heart, that you involve all groups, students, employee groups, in developing these so that we can move forward and make Lodi again a destination school district. Thank you.
Ms. Young, I have a clarification on that comment. Is our board policy committee, subcommittee that we've created, was there a notice sent out that it is open to public?
Yes, that did go out publicly. That is a Brown Act meeting, and that was posted as well on the wall.
Because when we first initiated to have the board policies being looked through on a regular basis, that was one of the things we came up with, and I had requested that we make it a public meeting. Okay, good. So the next time we have this meeting, it will again be posted, and everybody is welcome. Ms. Alexander, Ms. Lenderman, and myself are members of this committee, and we actually meet in Mr. Young's office. If we have more attendees, we'd be happy to meet here in public with everybody.
And yes, point of clarification, it was in my office because this room was unavailable, but the ultimate goal is to hold that in this room ongoing.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Do any board members want to pull any items from the consent agenda 8?
I don't want to pull anything, just a comment on the policy, if that's sure. Thank you very much for adding the clarification and the disaggregated data on the creating philosophies, goals, and objectives. I think that's really important for our groups. And then more importantly, a definition on the key educational partners. I know that in the LCAP language, it's defined as being individuals that are partnered with for an educational outcome, but I think that having that definition set in an area where everyone can see what the intention of that is, that would really help. I know we changed the language from the other word, which was what you guys found to be medieval. But stakeholders. I know you're giving me that like what? Yeah, no, but I do appreciate the added
clarification on the needs for data and qualitative and quantitative data and disaggregated data. That was the bottom.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Can I have a motion, please, for this?
I make motion that we approve all routine agenda A.
I'll second.
And can we have a student vote for this, please? A verbal vote?
Aye.
Thank you. And a board vote, please.
It's not letting me vote.
It's not showing up as the ability to vote.
Join me. I did. I'm not getting it on mine either. I had to join me.
Thank you. See, Michael has this microwave around him. When he comes, it suddenly stops working.
Dr. Ball, while you're waiting, you should know it is in fact Michael Hunting's birthday.
Oh.
You can't come up with a better way to spend his birthday.
Nice job, Bob.
Happy birthday.
Thank you, Michael. We do have a board vote here. Motion passes 6 yes, 1 absent. Public comments on other action items. The public may address the board on other action items. Each public speaker shall limit their comments to 3 minutes, and please speak your first and last name before you start. I see no comments on the other action items. We go on to item OAI1, AB 1200 documents for Lodi Unified School District Employee Group, Classified School Employees Association. Ms. Suarez.
Thank you. Good evening, President Dr. Ball, members of the board. Presented for your review and approval is the public disclosure of the collective bargaining agreement with the Classified School Employees Association. The agreement includes 2.3% of ongoing salary increase, and as well as one-time allocation of $4.3 million going towards the group's health and welfare benefits. The total estimated cost of this agreement is approximately $6.67 million. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Suarez. Do we have any student comments on this? Any board comments?
Motion approved.
Second.
Can we have a verbal student vote, please?
Aye.
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 Thank you, and a board vote. Thank you, board. Motion passes 6 yes, 1 absent. Item OAI2, ratification of the tentative agreement with the California School Employees Association. Ms. Church.
Thank you, President Ball, members of the board. Before you for your review and approval is the tentative agreement with California School Employee Association. We recommend that you approve.
Thank you. Any student comments on this? Any board comments?
Motion approved.
Second.
Thank you. And we'll take a verbal student vote for this, please.
Aye.
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 Thank you. And a board vote? Thank you, board. Motion passes 6 yes, 1 absent. Item OAI3, 7-11 Surplus District Property Advisory Committee, appointment of members. Ms. Solberg.
Yes, thank you, President Ball.
members of the board, Superintendent Young. So following discussions with the Board of Education Long Range Facilities Subcommittee, staff began evaluating options available to the board as it relates to its district-owned property, specifically property located on the Victor Elementary campus, which is commonly known or referred to as the Parkin Memorial Park. School districts are required by Education Code to follow a process called the surplus property disposition process when taking any action on real property. And the first step of this process is the formation of a 7-11 committee. So staff put out an application to the community of Victor, and before you tonight are the applicants who submitted their application by the designated date and are interested in serving on the board's committee.
Thank you, Ms. Holbrook. Any comments from the students? Any board comments on this?
Yeah, I'd like to.
Yes, sir.
So, I remember when this happened, the murder, I was in high school at the time, so today, after I talk to you, and I know like 3 or 4 names on here pretty well, one's a friend. But I rode by there, and that park's a real important part of that community. It's used every weekend for volleyball. People are out there picnicking. Sometimes we pick up soccer games, and I rode by the house, so it's still very much dear to the community, and it's being used a lot. The outhouse being overused, I'm not sure who's in charge of it, because they're going across the street to my friend's vineyard. But it's an important thing for one of the little towns that's satellite towns of Lodi, so.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Thank you, Mr. Stroh. Any other board comments?
I move we approve.
I'll second.
Thank you, and we'll take a verbal student vote for this, please.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, and a board vote? Thank you, board. Motion passes 6 yes, 1 absent. Any public comments on the reports? The public may address the board on reports. Each speaker shall limit their comments to 3 minutes, and please speak your first and last name before you start.
Good evening again, President Dr. Ball, members of the board, Superintendent Young, members of the cabinet. On the ELOP plan, I'm just really interested in how you're going to go about recruiting certificated staff. I've already heard from a couple of my members where they have been approached by some of these private companies that you are intending on hiring. Those were in previous contracts that have already been presented and approved by the board. But what I'm being told is it doesn't seem like there's an organized way. Some people were invited to come to meetings and told, hey, you know, recruit your friends to do this, and shouldn't this be posted for all teachers at the sites, or even, you know, nearby teachers to be able to apply for? So I'd just like to get some more clarification on how you plan to recruit your your certificated staff for these programs. Thank you.
We have a report on the expanded learning opportunities, the program plan review and update, Dr. Horton.
Yes, Board President Ball, members of the board, I'd like to invite Jose Maciel to come up to the podium. He's going to present our expanded learning opportunities plan and program. It's an exciting report and an update, and a lot of exciting things are in store. Jose?
Be happy to. So there's 2 things I'll be sharing with you today. The first thing is we do have an expanded learning opportunities program plan. And the second thing is I'd like to provide you with an overview of initiatives that we have moving forward. And we do have some slides that go with that. Before I begin, greetings, President Baugh, members of the board, Superintendent Young. We're super excited, as Dr. Horton said, and I'll be happy to address any concerns or questions that you may have about our proposal and initiative for launching our first ever ELOP and attendance recovery program. So with that, I want to thank you for this opportunity, and I have some news and some updates I'd like to talk about in regards to how Lodi Unified is preparing to expand services for students and families, and it's all being funded through expanded learning programs. Starting this school year, new Ed Code provisions have allowed districts across the state of California to leverage ELOP funding in ways that also generate ADA revenue. This presents Lodi Unified with a unique opportunity to stream both our student services programs and also bring in unrestricted dollars to help the district in other means outside of ELOP. So when you think of ELOP funding, it's very restricted funds. You can only use them for expanded learning, which is beyond the school day. So it's before school, after school, intersession, or summer. And so we have, over the last 3 years, we have done a number of different programs, and you have approved various plans and versions of the plans to expand services to students. And so for the last 3 years, we have offered and have hired classified staff, certificated staff, to work 30 additional non-instructional days during fall, spring, and summer. And so these opportunities have been made possible through these expanded learning opportunities programs. And so now I'd like to present a proposal as to some of the revisions to this plan. And our goal is to share with you how we're going to be expanding access to students via attendance recovery through the growth of the Bridge program and providing new immersive opportunities during the summer for residential students to have students go through residential experiences at both universities and summer camps beyond the traditional classroom setting. So with that, our proposal tonight includes offering attendance recovery in combination with expanded learning services during the first week of fall break, spring break, and the first 2 weeks of summer. We will provide additional camps and enrichment opportunities for students through the summer through our partner agencies, community-based organizations, and other organizations that we have collaborated with in the past, including our county office. And so I'd like to go through the first set of slides to talk about attendance recovery and some of the stipulations that we have to follow to ensure that we are in compliance with utilizing and leveraging ELOP funds for attendance recovery revenue. So the first 3 bullets indicate the things that we will be closely monitored and audited annually to ensure that we are following the strict conditions to the use of these funds. So first of all, ELOP and attendance recovery must be offered concurrently, meaning the same site. Both programs need to be happening simultaneously. The AR program must be operated by Lodi Unified, meaning that if we are offering attendance recovery, the program must employ Lodi Unified staff, meaning certificated teachers from Lodi Unified. We cannot contract these individuals, otherwise we would not meet these strict conditions for attendance recovery. And the last thing is both programs, both ELOP and attendance recovery, must be offered simultaneously at the same school site. So if we go to the next slide, I'll talk a little bit about some of the purposes, some of the reasons why we're putting this together, the offerings, and the eligibility. So the purpose for attendance recovery, first of all, the purpose of this program and its new Ed Code provision is to ensure that we recoup instructional opportunities for students that miss school due to unforeseen circumstance. Life sometimes happens with our most needy students. Some of our unduplicated students have the highest needs and sometimes have the most absence in our school. And so this is really an opportunity to target that group of students. Also, increase student access to grade level equivalent curriculum. And so this will help students recover any missed instruction that they have had during the school year. So it's an opportunity for them to come back and have that one-on-one time with a teacher from their school side. And lastly, this is an opportunity for the district to recover funding that was lost due to student absence. Just on a side note, last year the district lost an opportunity of close to $15 million due to ADA revenue. And so that was something that we looked at, and this is really a great way for us to recoup some of that funding. Not sure if we're going to recoup it all, but we're going to give it our best shot. If we go to the next slide, we'll also talk about some of the apportionments and some of the conditions. So there's requirements and limitations and a specific time frame as to when this can all be implemented. And so the requirements to this is, the first requirement, and it speaks to Lisa's comment, is the immediate supervision of students needs to be by a certificated teacher. And so there's no way around that. And that's something that's going to be audited very closely. And so we have to ensure that who we bring on board and is going to account for attendance recovery has to be a Lodi Unified teacher. Second piece to that is there's specific student-to-teacher ratios that we have to hold in the classroom in order for this to count. And the last thing, of course, is there's a minimum number of minutes that students need to be in our attendance recovery ELP programs in order for this to count as a full 88 credit. And so all those conditions are going to be put together. They're going to be reported to CalPADS, and then CalPADS will determine, based on their formula, how much revenue we will get. And Mrs. Juarez and I have met a number of times to talk about, and it's pretty exciting to know that there's different opportunities for revenue outside of our traditional funding formulas. So if we go to the next slide, we'll talk about the apportionments, and it really provides a review of all the things and all the conditions that must happen in order for this funding to be compliant. So the attendance, again, needs to be taken by a certificated teacher. The instructional time must meet the minimum number of minutes. Specific student-to-teacher ratios, TK and Kinder is 1 to 10. Anything beyond first grade is 1 to 20. The content needs to be aligned to grade level core curriculum. The instruction must be equivalent to the regular program, and again, supervision needs to be in person by a certificated Lodi Unified teacher. Okay. If we go to the next slide, we can look at the minutes, and this gives you a breakdown of how the minutes vary by grade level. If we move on to the next slide, we can talk about the instructional requirements. Again, it must be grade level curriculum, and our team is putting together a scope and a sequence in collaboration with our coaches and our content consultants to ensure that what is being covered during that week of intercession is key standards that are heavily weighted in our standards course of study. And so looking at the additional requirements, if we go to the next slide, we'll talk a little bit about our goal for this year. And this is what I propose. And so we are proposing to begin offering attendance recovery in combination with expanded learning services to students in grades kindergarten, or it's actually grades TK through 8th grade starting this fall break. This will continue, and my proposal is to continue offering these services in the spring and summer. We will also try to incorporate additional opportunities for students in the after-school bridge program. All in all, we're going to be providing 20 additional non-instructional days of services to students that need it most. And these are our unduplicated students having the greatest priority for our participation. And this will happen across all elementary and middle school sites in the district, of course, that are available subject to any construction that may be going. And of course, we'll be getting the blessing of our M&O department to ensure that we can host a program at that site. All in all, for this fall, we're going to be hosting at every school site with the exception of Lodi Middle. And so we're pretty excited about that. It's a huge undertaking, but it is something that we're up for because I think the return is immense in regards to the service that we're providing to students and also the opportunities that I believe Lodi Unified staff will have by participating in this program. This program is a site initiative And it's intended to be driven by the site. We want sites to have ownership of this program. We want teachers to be able to teach students that they work with during the regular school year. And so this is a new model opposed to the different approach we had with our intercession, where they were previously sites that were regional, and students were moving to new sites for intercession programs or attending sites that they weren't familiar with the teachers, and so we felt that a connection with the teacher that students are already familiar with presents great value for their learning and for their educational experience. And I think teachers from their home sites know students the best, and so we think that that will have the greatest impact for learning in that short amount of time that we have. And so that's what our proposal is. Our proposal is to hire Lodi Unified teachers to work our attendance recovery and ELOP programs. If we go to the next slide, we do have a model in place where how it's going to be broken up. And through these expanded learning funds, we plan to hire Lodi Unified teachers, paraeducators, custodians, and site admin, because again, this is a site initiative. The option to work time card hours on non-contracted work days is totally volunteer. And it will be paid on a time card, as we have a past practice of paying teachers that work our fall intercession program on a time card. And so this is something that we currently have in place from prior years, and it's a past practice that we're going to continue to move forward with the new program that is offering new opportunities for students. If we go to the next slide, we do have a sample schedule of what this ELP attendance recovery program will look like. And so our proposal is to offer a 9-hour and 15-minute program from 7:45 to 5 p.m. That our staff, the Expanded Learning Bridge program staff, will be at site for 9 hours and 15 minutes. I have multiple shifts going in, and every site will have staffing to provide that service. In addition to that, we have a dedicated chunk of time that will be part of the morning time where we will offer the attendance recovery ELOP block. And that's where teachers are going to be hired to deliver the grade level content for students that are currently attending the school sites that they're working at. And so the attendance recovery block will be from 8:15 to 11:45, and we provided a sample schedule of how that will roll out. This is subject to change as student enrollment may increase, decrease from site to site. As of today, we have over 1,600 students enrolled to attend our fall intercession program. The fall intercession program, it's currently being proposed as an enrichment camp. If this is board approved, we will convert into an attendance recovery model. And that is my proposal for today's plan, is to have an attendance recovery ELOP plan so that we can generate new funding, unrestricted funding for our district. If we go to the next page, I'd like to talk about additional contingencies. You know, being a realist, we understand that we may have school sites where we may get zero interest from teachers. And if that's the case, then we will run a full day camp. It will be called an enrichment camp at that site, and my staff, the Expanded Learning Department, will run that camp for 9 hours and 15 minutes. The drawback to that is if we don't hire any teachers, we won't be able to generate any ADA for that particular site because we needed the teachers. But I think the alternative, at least we provided a safe place for students for 9 hours if they needed the full 9 hours. If they only needed 4 hours, 6 hours, we're certainly flexible with that. And I believe many individuals in this room have participated at one point or another in our Expanded Learning program, if not as a teacher or even as a parent. So we are a growing program, and we continue to provide expanded opportunities for our students. So if we go to the next slide, I'd like to talk about additional proposals. So looking ahead, what I put together today is a revised Expanded Learning program to take into consideration the attendance recovery model that is new to this district, and it's quite frankly new to the entire state. So we're learning a lot about this program, and the CDE is daily putting out new FAQs and new language to help guide districts how to best deliver this model and this service. And so as we look ahead, I also would like to talk about that the Bridge program is continuing to grow. And this year, we're going to be adding 4 new school sites: Podesta Ranch, Silva, Morgan, and Lockford. And it is my goal that this expansion will ensure more access to TK all the way through 8th grade students, and it provides the structure that the Bridge program has offered for many years already. And so these are the last 4 sites, traditional sites, that will be coming into the Bridge program. And this was originally proposed in the initial plan that was presented to you about 3 years ago. We had phases where we were going to be bringing in all sites. And this is the last year. This will be the last group of sites that we'll be bringing into our district. In addition to that, we plan to launch our summer residential camps. And these experiences will give students a chance to live and learn in an immersive environment that's non-traditional. It's going to be, our goal is to collaborate with universities, provide residential camps at a university, and also outdoor camps with a sponsorship with San Joaquin County Office of Ed. So these are all examples of the different immersive camps that we propose for the year. So tonight, I have presented to you the Expanded Learning Opportunities Program, some revisions that incorporate the proposal of attendance recovery model, expanding the Bridge program, and future residential camps. We are requesting that the board review our revisions and prepare to take action for a vote at our next scheduled board meeting. I'm super excited about these possibilities. My team is as well. I mean, this is completely new, so we're going in uncharted territory with offering essentially school for 30 additional days, or at least housing a program at schools. But I think in the long run, this will totally benefit our students, and it's no different than what our neighboring school districts are doing with Expanded Learning Fund. And so this is a model that has proven to be successful. Parents love it, and our team is prepared for the challenge, and we're excited for our first break, which is probably our busiest time of the year. So that is a general overview of what I'm proposing, and I hope that your feedback and guidance will help us move forward. So I can take any questions at this time.
Thank you so much. I am going to ask for our students if you have any comments on this.
Very cool.
All right, we'll open it up to board comments or questions.
Jose, excellent program. You've been doing this already, but you're expanding, correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yes. I like that because it includes all the students at their particular schools, and it's an after-school program or before-school program.
Yeah. So I would like to address a question from one of our audience members. And so they said, how was I going about recruiting this? And so if our program launches at full capacity, I'm going to need 220 teachers this fall. Okay? In a typical intersession, I get about 80 that apply. And so I am counting on site principals to do a lot of the lifting, recruiting, and dangling apples in front of teachers. Because I really need their support. And so I have recruited site principals to support recruiting their home teachers. And so what we put together, typically we would do, we would post a position, but these are site initiatives. And so what we're asking is for principals, and we put together a teacher interest form, and that is going to be shared in the next couple of days with all teachers from their home site. They fill out the form, and our goal is to place them at their home site. If they're not placed at their home site, we will be offering an opportunity to work at a neighboring site. So that is our goal for advertising and recruiting teachers.
Thank you.
Great, presentation. Thank you very much for the time and effort put into the very clear and concise I enjoyed reading through that, thank you. You were talking, you said 1,600 is what you have projected, or you've gotten response back for the fall, correct?
That's correct.
Do you have a max in mind, a maximum number of students that you can take? And if so, are you creating a waiting list or?
Yeah, we actually have it. And some sites already reached full capacity. So it's all over the place across the district. I can give you one site, Larson, filled up in a matter of 2 days. So it's incredible, the need and the parent demand for expanded learning services. We have other sites like Victor that only has 5 students enrolled. And so we are working with the principal to recruit and create initiatives and campaigns at that site to help recruit students. And so we're seeing principals as partners in this program because we can't do it centrally here at the district. We need principal, we need their stake, we need their investment in this program as well. And many of them have responded positively. And if they're not available, then we're recruiting vice principals that have aspiring goals to become principals at one time. Or also we will even consider aspiring principals that are currently teachers or aspiring administrators. And so we're certainly open for this opportunity, and we're trying to, as this being the first time we're doing it, we may not have it 100% right, but I'm all for getting it right and making sure that what we do and how we proceed is the most proper way for recruiting and communicating what we're offering.
The most opportunities for the most students is what I would continually strive for as well. So just off to the side, do you currently have a waiting list for the bridge program?
We
Or
do.
do you see them kind of blending together, or kids jumping over, or can they? Will they be able to cross over?
So we do have a waiting list for the bridge program, and bridge students, so what we offer during intersession is a different format than what we offer during the regular school year. So if you are in the bridge program, it doesn't grandfather you in or doesn't necessarily give you priority into our intersession programs. You still have to register. And we just launched new software that is pretty state-of-the-art in regards to recruiting students, and our technology department has been incredible with being able to share information with our software. And so a parent can register for multiple programs in a matter of seconds. And so the application registration comes pre-populated from Aries directly to the parent's text message, and they can, it's like shopping Amazon. You just click what you want and you put it on a cart and you submit a registration for all those programs. And so we're offering a program the first week of intersession and another program the second week of intersession. So the second program is actually an off-site program with one of our local community-based organizations. So we're offering across city of Lodi and Stockton.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I was just going to say thank you for the good report. I'm learning a lot. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I have a lot of questions. I like to learn, I said that before. Are you identifying students so they have priority based on their attendance?
Yes.
So they'll have, you said Larson's already filled up, right?
Correct.
So did you identify the students that have attendance problems in your fill-up and give them priority status?
So the way we rolled out invitations for our program was a priority 1 and a priority 2. Priority 1 students were unduplicated students. In this case, they were our most needy students in the district, meaning their ELs, low socioeconomic, free and reduced lunch. And so our grant requires that we prioritize students that are considered unduplicated. Second priority were students that didn't meet any of those requirements. So first priority was invited a week before the second priority window was invited. So yes, attendance was a factor with priority 1.
Well, you kind of answered my question, because the bite here you said was that we're trying to do attendance recovery.
Mm-hmm.
And then you said that there were priority one were our EL students and some of our socioeconomic disadvantage. They could have great attendance. So what was it?
We filtered priority one students that met all the unduplicated status. And so when we look at this program, this is an ELOP program, and so we must follow the ELOP guidelines to benefit the ADA requirement. ADA is not a priority in the eyes of the funding auditors for this program. What they look at is that we provide ELOP services. Now, a benefit of providing ELOP services, now the district can generate ADA funds for it.
Yeah, that's neither, that doesn't really matter to me because it's kind of like a money grab for the wrong reasons. But we do want to improve their attendance, but it's hard to get kids that aren't attending going to these programs that are offered in addition. You said K through 8, correct?
TK through 8.
TK through 8, all right. Now you mentioned talking about the academic side of this. That you'll need teachers that are obviously proficient in their areas to be providing the support for the students. Now, are you going to do a pre-diagnostic, post-diagnostic on this so that we see if there is any achievement at all? Because to me, this whole program should be about student achievement.
Okay. So we have assessments for our intercession programs, but the guidelines for this grant does not require pre-diagnostic assessments or academic assessments pre or post. Those are certainly things that we can look at and certainly entertain and look with our coaches to identify areas. But what we are doing is identifying key standards to focus and really hit those key standards in that 1 week's time.
So you are doing a diagnostic on them before they come in. Is that weighted into their attendance? Is that weighted into their enrollment? I'm sorry. So kids that are not performing well on the standards, they're struggling.
Yes.
Achievement-wise, you are identifying them, and then that would weight their enrollment in this?
No, their enrollment is determined by their parents registering to the program.
But you said you weighted them, so everybody is equal? I'm confused here, because you said there was a priority 1, priority 2.
That's correct.
I'm saying to you is, if this program is attendance recovery, if this program is to help kids that are struggling, wouldn't that give them precedent over the kids that aren't struggling? Because otherwise, then I'm seeing this as a great way for parents to know what's going on. They get babysitting, pretty much. And that's why Larson probably hit it so hard, was that, hey, this is great. I don't pay a dime. Although you do have a thing in there about payment on the other thing I thought was strange. But anyway, so my point is this is for students that are not achieving? Are they given consideration?
They're for students that are unduplicated, and so their performance in school is taken into consideration as to their recruitment in this program. Okay. And so if they are identified as unduplicated, then they will have priority enrollment.
Okay, very good. Now, my next question is, you talked about staffing. You're going to pay it the hourly wage, is that correct?
That's what the CBA allows, yes.
So it's the hourly wage. Now, how would that incite a teacher to teach what they're teaching anyway and getting paid their wages at that time to then take an hourly rate during this time for the same subject material and same responsibilities, because they're taking attendance, they're doing discipline, they're doing all those things that they have to do, but they're being paid a lot less?
Yeah, that's a great question. I don't have the answer to that because those type of decisions don't happen at my level. They happen at a different level.
What level is that?
At your level.
Mr. Porter, point of clarification.
Well, that's a negotiated item, isn't it?
And that would be my point right now.
I'm not going to ask any more questions.
Okay.
I was just curious. So we did that, the student achievement. Your money for this is coming from one grant that I saw, but not another grant. Are we using school funds to achieve this program? Which I think is righteous.
Yeah. This funding is all being utilized by expanded learning funding.
Okay, very good.
So
And then you're gonna have
restricted funding.
CSEA people getting an hourly wage, I can't say that, I'm sorry, I'll stop.
Hourly wage is fine, because that is what is built into the collective bargaining agreement.
Okay.
So anything that's in the collective bargaining agreement is.
It's fair game.
Yeah.
Now, I guess in the end, because I'm after, well, we have test scores coming out, and I'm very excited to see how we're doing in terms of student achievement. And the driver of that, of course, is what's happening in the classroom. How do you get kids that are not attending school, that are struggling, motivated to jump into your program? You're giving them extra weight, what I heard tonight, which again, I think is righteous. And again, the socioeconomic side of that, I'm just talking about kids that need help, right? How are we determining by using data whether or not this program was successful after program 1, which is your first week, program 2, your second week, that what we did was good or bad? Now, if it's bad, that's fine, you learn and you move on. Are we doing that, any type of assessment, or is it just filling time?
Yeah. You know, expanded learning measures the success of the program by student attendance. If students are attending your program, that means they're enjoying what they're being offered, because we're asking students to attend during their vacation. It's not an easy sell. And so what we have to provide is something that is engaging, something that they look forward to, and more importantly, something that they have a sense of connecting with individuals, people that show that they care. And so we have a very dynamic staff, and they're trained with enriching activities that incorporate sports, that incorporate science and STEM in a fun and engaging way. And so we've built incentives into our program, and when you look at the latter part of our schedule, that's when the engaging activities are with students, the fun activities, the reasons why kids want to attend. And so we really built our programs around enrichment, and we hope that students stick around to the enrichment part, and that happens later in the day. But in the first part of the day is where the academic piece is in, and that's where we value our teachers and their instructional approach.
Well, I hope their instructional approach also is fun, and they're learning at the same time. But again, I'm trying to figure a way that, what are we doing if it's right or not? Are we successful? That's the part I'm trying to get at through this whole thing.
Mr. Porter, I think you actually raised a great question, and it's something that our assessment team would have to be able to compare a student maybe prior to.
That's what I asked,
and
pre and post, I know.
No, I'm saying prior to ever attending
Right.
an intercession
Right.
and their academic success. I mean, there's a lot of factors, but I think we need to sit down with Ed Services and UVA.
You already have diagnostic done beforehand on that student.
Correct.
So afterwards, let's see how they're doing. And, where we can meet their needs. That's kind of what I'm looking at. Okay. Thank you very much for your presentation. It was very thorough. And both parts are really good. Thank you. Well,
Thank you.
I just have one question based on something that Mr. Porter said. Would it be okay if I ask?
Yeah, sure, please.
You discussed priority 1 and priority 2, and you sent out communication.
Yeah.
When you assessed for access and impact for the students with barriers already, the communication, I understood, is really easy on text message. I've seen it. But what if they don't have phones? What if they're not, maybe they already have those barriers? And what are we doing to identify how we can reach that population?
Yeah, that's a great question. And so we track all the recipients and whether the message was received or not. And we collect this data. So at the end of each campaign or at the end of each launch, we see what numbers actually registered in a cell phone and what numbers did not. Those individuals that did not register a cell phone, sometimes they'll hit a home phone that doesn't accept text messages. then we do the outreach ourselves and connect with those families. And mind you, these messages are going in multiple languages. And that's really the beauty of the software that can navigate that.
And you said that the priority one students, the communication was sent out a week in advance?
Yes.
Okay.
So as of today, everyone has received the communication for our fall intercession programs. And those folks that didn't register are going to continue to receive friendly reminders about the program. And we're working with our site principals to now help identify students. And one of the beauty to having site principals being a part of our programs, and even our teachers from their home sites, is many of them already have their assessment, they have their data from these students, and so they don't have to reassess students necessarily on the first day. They're just continuing on that 5-day span that we have with intercession students, because this is just 5 days, and we're trying to be as impactful as we can in those 5 days.
Thank you. I have a quick question. To say, do you already have, and I could have missed that, do you already have a grant amount, or does that grant amount depend on how many kids enroll?
We already have an allocation for this program.
And is it a public amount that you can tell everybody what that amount is?
Yeah, it's a public amount.
Public information?
Would you like to know?
Yeah.
It's in excess of 15 million.
So that is already available for us to utilize?
That's correct.
I think this is a great opportunity for our kids to have the expanded learning. Thank you.
And mind you, it's restricted funding. If we don't use it, we lose it.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. Any other board comments or questions on this?
So if you recoup 100% of the ADA, that's a net zero? I mean, but you have to use that money in total, right?
No, that goes in general fund.
Goes in general fund.
ADA would go general funds, that's correct.
Thank you, Jose. That was very thorough. I actually, like Sherry said, enjoyed your presentation of this report. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks. There's something different. Before we go on to the next report, I'm going to request everybody to take about 30 seconds and stretch your feet because mine are hurting. Roll and stretch. Give yourself about 30 seconds. And we'll be back in 30 seconds. I've got my stopwatch going here. Break, we'll reconvene to our meeting here. We have one more report that we're going to go through. It's the Measure L Bond Oversight Committee Annual Report. To keep the public informed, no, I don't want Siri, thank you. Informed of Measure L Bond expenditures. Ms. Holbert?
Yes, President Ball, members of the board, Superintendent Young. The Measure L Committee has completed its annual report for fiscal year 2022-23 and 2023-24. And on their behalf, I am presenting their report. So Michael, if you don't mind, if you would open up their annual report document, and I will just point out a couple items for them. So if you would scroll down on page 1. So just some of the activities that is performed by the committee. They have received and reviewed the audited financial statements for both the July 2022 through June 30th, 2024 fiscal years. They've also monitored the progress of the ongoing Measure L projects. They review quarterly financial statements, as well as they make sure that the Measure L tax rate is below the $60 per 100,000 assessed, which for the year 2022-23, it was $43.10 per 100,000. And for year 2023-24, it was $41.90. And the last point I'd like to share from their report is the conclusion. So the Measure L Citizens Committee members have concluded that Lodi USD is compliant with the requirements set forth by the Measure L bond election and its bylaws.
Thank you, Ms. Solberg. Do the students have any comments on this report? Are there any board comments for this report? Guess not. Thank you. Do we have any board advisory committee reports this evening? It is a subcommittee of the board, so if you want to talk on it.
Well, since I was a call-in, I'll let either Ms. Lenderman or myself, the policy committee met.
So we're talking about the board subcommittee. It's the board policy committee, which is open to public, and as requested to Mr. Young, it was posted. So I'm hoping for the next board advisory committee we'll have more public input in there. And Ms. Enderman, did you want to add anything to it?
It was a really fruitful discussion on how we want to make sure policies are reviewed in a timely fashion regularly, and not outdated, making sure that we're staying on top of what's new for the regulations. So I'm super excited for that because it's really important to have good policies.
Yes. Good. Thank you. Thank you so much. Any other board advisory committees? No, all right. We will move on to comments from the public. We do have 9 comments. We do have a 20-minute period, so 7 comments would give us 21. I would keep them at 3 minutes and extend it to a little more than 20 minutes. So everybody gets their 3 minutes. So the 20-minute period plus the additional 6 that we will add tonight is allocated for the public to address the board on matters not listed on the agenda. Each speaker is limited to 3 minutes. If there are numerous speakers, we will limit the speaker time, which we will not tonight. To share the materials with the board, please provide them to the staff for distribution. Due to restrictions under the California Brown Act, the board cannot engage in discussion regarding public comments. Please state your first and last name when you come up to the podium. Michelle Organ.
Good evening, President Ball, members of the board, Mr. Young, Michelle Orgon, classroom teacher, Leah member. I want to thank first Mr. Jeff Stroh for coming by Needham. I heard you were there for a visit last week. I was attending curriculum council, so I missed you coming out and saying hello. So please come out again and visit Needham. I'm sorry that I missed you. And the last time I saw you last year, you were sprinting, taking a look at things that were going on. So come by the classrooms. I'd love you to meet my wonderful little second graders. I would also like to invite any and all board members to come by Needham. It is a fabulous gem in the downtown of Lodi, and we love to see you, and we love to showcase what our students are doing. Lots of good things happening. I would like to ask you and request, as a teacher in this district, that as I heard a proposal was sent, so that's great news. I hope in that proposal that you include retro all the way back to for the entire year that we taught last year. I hope that's included in the proposal. While our bargaining team last year met and discussed things that were not sunshined by the district And I understand how the 7-period day impacted many, and our bargaining team, I think, did the right thing by negotiating. But really, what we heard and what we saw in bargaining updates and comments just reiterates the hesitation that members feel that real negotiations is happening. When the statements are made, let us just talk about financials. Financials aren't everything to a teacher. Language in our contract is important. And unfortunately, historically in the past, unless we held that bargaining chip of not agreeing to financials in the beginning, you wouldn't discuss anything in the past in the contract that going forward it was, we're not interested. Last year, the comments, we're not interested, were made at the table, reportedly to our unit. I know the board has changed since I have worked with many of you personally in the classroom and coming to different events in the community. I hope you understand that our hesitation is really putting our trust in you to bring us. What we have lowered to in negotiations really is hard to say that you can't retro all the way back to July. More comments. I also would like just to make a quick statement about the setup of the board meeting with comments all the way to the end. For students now not to hear the community's input is hard, having this at the end. The last presentation you had, I know there were lots of teachers that had things to say about that, but our comments were before the presentation and before the explanations. So having public comments after that would be greatly appreciated. Thank you. Come see us out of school sites.
I am going to request as a respectful item to everybody else, I have extended the board meeting, the board comments by 6 minutes, so please keep within your 3 minutes time slot. I'd really appreciate that, and so will everybody else. And Suela Garcia.
Good evening. Aaron missed me last time, so I want to make sure I was back. Ansuela Garcia, community member, teacher. Leah, Mr. Pascal spoke, and he used some words that caught my attention. Past practice, relationships with teachers are meaningful, and the pay for teachers. And so I wanted to talk about a couple things that came up. I was going to talk about Julia Morgan. We're great. Come see us. But our bargaining hit a standstill because the district refusing to grant one-time health care and welfare stipend for all members. All members, not just some of us, but everybody. And is denying us the retroactive cost of living, and this is a critical issue. So at our pre-service, Mr. Horton talked about teaching the whole year, not 60% of the year, not 40% of the year, and I alluded it to at the last meeting that I was at. And so we think if we teach the whole year, we should get paid for the whole year, as other people in this room have been paid and given a raise for. Because we stood up for ourselves, we feel like it feels like you're being punished. It feels like we've been naughty. And I don't appreciate that because I work really hard, and so do the people here, and so do the people that left. This sets a precedent that if we don't stand up for ourselves now, then you'll say next time, nope, nope, nope. We're gonna stand up for ourselves because we're standing for everybody else, because when you read that CSCA thing, you know what 2 words are in there? Me too, me too, me too. We are the ones, the teachers are the ones that have to stand up, and everyone else is a me too. And that is really frustrating, because I could me too 3% every year. I'd love to me too that. So we are the me too. On our backs, everybody else is a me too. On our backs, we're gonna run that. I would love to teach that intercession. I already have plans. If I would have known it was coming, teachers already have plans, not because we don't want to do it. I would love to do that if we were paid a fair wage, as Mr. Porter discussed. If we were treated with respect. We're not the me too. We are an equal part of this district, And we deserve to be treated as if we were equal part of the district, and you know it because almost everyone up there has been a teacher. And if we can give 3% to one person, we can give 1 point whatever it is to everybody, and health benefit money to everybody, because everyone has worked all year long. Thank you.
Tanner Hurd.
Good evening, everybody. I just wanted to say really quickly before I get to what I had prepared tonight that the proposal about having 1,600 students for 220 teachers to manage, if I'm understanding everything correctly, that's about 7 students per teacher through the whole 9 hours, I think, was each day, and getting paid an hourly wage, I think, is pretty unfair. That's just initially. I'd like to speak tonight about a couple of studies that I've read recently. A 1990 study published in the Journal of Science, Social Science and Medicine. It was found that chronic stress at work was associated with high blood pressure. In that same study, researchers found that for workers making less than $20,000 a year, which adjusting for inflation is about $50,000 right now, the likelihood of developing physiological and psychological health issues was nearly triple that of those workers that made more than $50,000. There are many LUSD workers that at this very moment make significantly less than $50,000 per year. 2 studies published in the Journal of Affective Disorders in 2021 both showed that financial strain was associated with greater depressive symptoms as well as worries about health. Further research showed that worsening of income was associated with exacerbation of depression. A 2% raise does not solve these issues for many currently on the Lodi Unified payroll. An additional 50 cents per hour does not address any of the financial hardships that classified employees face, and in turn, it does not alleviate any of the physical or psychological stress that is experienced by the workers who are barely getting by. So, what is the solution to this? Well, in 2021, a study from the National Library of Medicine showed that higher income was associated with reductions in psychological distress as well as smoking and dependency issues. In 4 different figures, higher income was associated with decreased psychological distress. If Lodi Unified truly wants the best for students under their care, they certainly must want the best for the workers they employ. People who are stressed out, depressed, anxious, facing healthcare issues they can't afford, and drowning in bills do not make for a dedicated and ambitious workforce. These are all issues that you, as elected officials, have the ability to affect. Thank you very much.
Kenny Hanston. Good evening, members of the board, Dr. Ball, Mr. Young, and everyone else. This is not my work. It was someone who didn't feel they could present this, but good evening, trustees, cabinet members, and superintendent. I want to take a moment to talk about an issue that directly impacts not just teachers and staff, but also the families we support every day, affordable health care. I was recently at a meeting with teachers in another community and found some very troubling information. According to the state of California, any employer with more than 50 employees is legally required to provide affordable health coverage. What does affordable mean? Covered California defines it very clearly. The cost of the lowest priced health plan an employee offers, one that covers at least 60% of medical needs, cannot require the employee to spend more than 9 2/2 of their employee's household income. This is not just a guideline, it's the law. If the employer's plan costs more than that, it fails to meet the definition of affordable health care. Now let's compare that standard to the reality we are living with. Too many of us are paying more than 9
and 2/100 of our income for coverage. Look at step 1, year 1 through 3 for Lodi USD for credentialed teachers, and using the lowest share of cost, we are currently at 9.12%, which means our district is breaking the law. Premiums are increasing in October, and that will put employees further into debt and the district further into the percentages out of compliance with the law. Once 21 employees request coverage from California for assistance in paying their health care premiums, the state will fine the district for breaking the law. Isn't it better to increase the district's share of the cost to follow the law and help the employees rather than pay the state fines and penalties? Healthcare should be a safety net, not a financial burden. It should bring peace of mind, not constant worry about whether you can afford to see a doctor. When an employer fails to provide affordable coverage, they are not only breaking the spirit of the law, they are putting their employees' health, stability, and dignity at risk. I don't want our district to be that employer. I want our district to be a district that proudly says our employees have affordable health care. We deserve better. We deserve a plan that complies with California law. We deserve coverage that is truly affordable and accessible. And most importantly, we deserve a district that values the health and well-being of its employees as much as it values the work we do every single day. Thank you.
Tammy Braden.
Good evening, board members, Superintendent Young. I'm Tammy Braden, and I'm a paraeducator in the district. Sorry, I feel like I'm loud. So I'd like to actually bring an issue to your attention that really needs to be addressed concerning our paras. So we have district paras that are being told that there's enough adult support in the classrooms and that they can leave their classrooms. They aren't needed in the classrooms, while we have emergency paras in the classroom. So why are those paras not being told that they need to leave first? Because the contracted paras should be moved first to wherever there's a need. While I understand that the district has the right to move us wherever there is a need when there is a need, at the same time, you have those contracted paras for that reason. So those paras should be removed from the classroom if need be. But honestly, I've never been in a SPED classroom where there has been enough adult support in the classroom. So I'm not exactly sure why paras, district paras, are being told to leave the classroom. And you know, if we're not needed, which I highly doubt, which some of you I know as being teachers and being as special needs teachers, you understand that we are an integral part to helping that classroom run smoothly and to provide those students with the services that are required by their IEP to help assist with that when it comes to that. And I'm not exactly sure if you guys, I don't think you guys are aware that this is happening, but it's causing stress among our district paras. So it really needs to be addressed and talked with teachers, with other staff, everybody like that. And the emergency paras, which I know. Honestly, if there was some way we could talk to these people, because the emergency paras try to come in and try to tell us what to do, tell us we're doing things wrong. What trainings do they have? You have half the time, they're new people that have never worked with special needs kids and they don't even know what they're doing. They've been there for a week. They're like, oh, they think they know everything and what to do. Whereas you have paras that have been here for 20 plus years, 16 years, 5 years, that have been to the trainings, that have done everything and have learned on how to work with these special needs students. So why are these paras trying to come in and tell us that we're doing our jobs wrong? That needs to be addressed. That way, our paras aren't feeling stressed and like we're not needed. I mean, do you want all the district paras to leave? I don't know. I don't think that's what you really want. But if you could please address the situation, I would appreciate it. Thank you.
Dr. Christopher Anderson.
Good evening, trustees, superintendent, colleagues. I'm Dr. Christopher Anderson, I'm a community member here in Lodi. Let me see if I understand this. You laud the great work of our teachers have accomplished so far this year, but you haven't closed the LEA contract and you haven't paid our teachers a fair wage. However, you are willing to pay ridiculous fees to lawyers for negotiations that you should be doing. Furthermore, you refuse to pay them for the work they've already accomplished, and you're proud of this. Is any other career expected to work without fair compensation? Are any of you expected to work without fair compensation? No, but you expect it from our teachers. You expect our teachers to be okay with not paying back wages owed, and that's what it means not to pay teachers retroactively for the work they've already performed. Teaching is arguably the most important profession, and yet they are not paid wages commensurate with their education investment. How are you planning to recruit and retain teachers when you treat them with callous indifference? Every career starts in the classroom. Not investing in our teachers is not investing in our children. What message are you sending our students when you undervalue their teachers? You're telling them that they don't matter. I'm here as a community member telling you to stop playing brinkmanship games and pay our teachers.
Mary Gaida. Thank you for breaking that. Say it better.
Yeah, absolutely. Good evening, Dr. Ball, members of the board, and Superintendent Mr. Young. My name is Mary Gaida, and I'm the music teacher at Vinewood Elementary School. I've been teaching in this district for 11 years and haven't, until recently, been active in the union. I've been attending union meetings regularly and board meetings, and I'm growing concerned with the stance the district has taken with negotiations with LEA, or lack thereof. I'm tired. Aren't you guys tired? Tired of this fight every year for COLA, tired of having to fight for every cent that I earn. I worry about rising gas, food, and healthcare costs, and not making enough to cover everything. I would like to go back to being a music teacher, and a darn good one at that. A teacher who not only performs contracted duty, but who also has her elementary students perform and compete at Music in the Parks 3 years in a row, first place. A music teacher who arranges for her students to go sing at our local nursing homes each year. A music teacher who hosts evening concerts so every parent can see their child perform. A music teacher who arranges for her students to sing the national anthem at basketball and baseball games, even going to sing at an NBA game this year. I want to continue to do these things, but it is hard when the district doesn't respect me and the union that represents me. If this lack of movement forward with negotiations continues, I will support my union because that is what I need to do. I will work my contract. I will stand for myself and my colleagues. Lack of negotiations are not fair to my students, not fair to the parents of my students, not fair to the school community, and not fair to our community as a whole. It is time for the school board to come to the table in good faith, negotiate, and please give us, the teachers, what we ask for so that we can all keep doing what we do best, educate. Thank you.
Jack Tone. I'm sorry, you should have given your, next time you want to come speak, give your card to Val so you can be the first to speak. I wouldn't want you to wait this long.
Wrong place, wrong time in my book.
It's okay. Go for it.
Good evening, LUSD board, Superintendent Young. I am Jack Tone. I plead to Lodi Unified School District to reconsider their stance on the phone policy. We have lunchtime with the purpose to unwind. Is there a problem with using our phones during that time? I think not. And so do many other students and teachers. AB 3216 is vague at best, but you have complete control over the phone policy, and you have every means to change it to something more agreeable for the students. I have seen in Tokay High School there has been a spike in students sent to student services is for simply holding their phones out during lunch. Are we really going to punish students for such a simple infraction when there are so many other things that require our attention? Much like now with the LEA motivation. The Lodi Education Association. They have more pressing matters right now, and I'm going on improv. They are focusing on getting paid, taking care of their families, and teaching us, and yet we're more concerned about having these things during lunchtime. I get that this is something we need to focus on, but do we need to focus on so much that we ignore the teachers and the students themselves, and instead we focus on one singular item that doesn't even have much significance if we look at it at the bigger picture? I ask that we simply rechange it. I'm well aware that we cannot change the state law unless I go to war with Newsom. But I am also well aware that you have the power to change all of it. We can have this during lunch, and we can have our freedom on our free time. If using my phone during free time responsibly is wrong, then I absolutely and positively do not want to be wrong. I mean, right. Thank you.
Laura Mulcahy?
You got it.
Yeah, I did. Thank you.
I have some papers to pass. Should I wait until I don't get this?
Hello everyone, my name is Laura Mulcahy. I'm a parent in Vinewood. Before you, I have put in the program management plan for Measure U, which states that replacement of portables that are 20 to 30 years old with permanent classrooms is part of the proposed plan of Measure U. I wanted to first thank you for finally getting my son's portable classroom air conditioner fixed. The first week of school they had none. It was fixed and then went out again. So luckily some of the mature trees that were not demolished by the construction crew are still in existence, and they found respite under the trees for a few days of instruction. And now thankfully he has a new air conditioning unit. I also wanted to thank you for your time for the meeting with Mr. Young, Mrs. Holbert, and thank you Mrs. Alexander for coming to our meeting. It was a really good discussion, but at the end of it, the teachers and the parents were in agreement that it shouldn't happen. The teachers voiced their concerns that it was too close to their classrooms. It is only 16 feet from their classroom doors. The parking loop will be backed up due to the corner of Virginia and Tokay with students crossing, so you aren't saving any traffic congestion. I've also collected data of the cars going into school from Tokay Street. It takes an average of 3.5 minutes from the corner of Tokay to dropping off a student. It's not much time at all. Also, my daughter's playground has been closed for over a week because of wasps. That was abated twice, and they're back. So I think a more resolution would be good. I also know that Ms. Guida was dealing with wasps as well. So we have a problem, and it needs to be addressed, please. My next topic of concern is the courtyard. I wanted to thank Mrs. Holbert for listening to my concerns about the plants and changing the plans. But after speaking with the majority of the students, teachers, and parents, they have all asked for grass and large trees to be put back into the courtyard because it makes the space usable again. There is a corner of the cafeteria that floods, and the new concrete did nothing to abate that. So during the rainy months, it will continue to flood, and I think plants would be a perfect location there. Also, we've been told over the years they can't add a new 2-story construction classroom due to it being built on city property.
So why did the construction company build multiple things on city property? Something doesn't seem right there. Spending over $1 million for a project that no one wants at the school, I feel is a waste of funds. It would be better spent updating the classrooms to have outlets to charge their Chromebooks or pay for items that teachers or parents have to fund themselves. Please stop this wasteful spending and spend it on classrooms for the betterment of the students. I was really encouraged at the last board meeting that I heard from board members expressing their interest in putting a pause on the Vinewood project. But I have yet to see an action item on the agenda, so I will be very excited when that happens. So that way, on my days off of work, I can spend time with my children, even though I love seeing you all, but I'd like to spend time with my kids. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Any comments from the employee group representatives? The representatives of each employee group will have 5 minutes to comment on non-agendized items.
Good evening again. President Dr. Ball, members of the board, Superintendent Young. Ann always takes my thunder away. LEA does want to thank the board members who have visited sites and invite you to continue to see the exciting activities and learning happening in our classrooms. I'm very thrilled to hear about the things that have happened, or the visits that have been made. I continue to be concerned about having qualified teachers in our classrooms, especially in special ed, but also in math, science, and foreign languages. I would like the district to engage in working with existing teachers and classified staff who may want to get an additional credential, or in the case of classified staff, become certificated teachers. I know that several of our paras have expressed an interest, and not only for special ed, but at the career fair, I spoke to a person who first wanted to become a para in a TK class, but then asked us, LEA, about how do I get my credential? I'd love to be a TK teacher. So these are the types of people that we need to encourage and figure out pathways for to grow our district. The ELOP recruitment for fall intercession may already be too late, because I'm going to tell you right now, I'm already getting teachers asking me when fall break is for next year. We make vacations during October. It's a great time to travel. So we do it well in advance. I would also suggest that the district start recruiting now for any spring intercession or summer programs, because again, teachers make plans. We are planners. We plan far ahead. So if you want to have teachers, you got to recruit them before this happens. Also, finally, the current adjunct rate is lower than most teachers make. The hourly rate is lower than what most teachers make, as is the rate for summer school. So if the district really wants to recruit teachers, especially teachers with work experience, then they should work with LEA to negotiate an hourly rate that would encourage our teachers to participate. I'm going to tell you right now, teachers are like, I'm already getting texts through this meeting. Why would I want to commit to doing 30, 40 hours over break, or 20 hours, whatever it is, to make less than I usually make? I agree, 100%. And then finally, I'd like to know where the announcements for the board policy meetings are posted. I get emails for our regular school board meetings, but not other public committee meetings. So how do I find these? Where can I find them? They're not posted on the board website or on the board calendar, so I don't know where to find them. I would love to be a part of this. I think we could get other people to be a part of this, including our parents and our students, and I'd like to see that be more available. Invite our student representatives to these meetings, or they can send a representative from their site in their stead, as well as having the labor groups and parents involved. Because again, if we want to have board policies, as this young man who I think is left stated, that
are work for everybody, including our students, then they need to be involved. So thank you.
Good evening, President Bao, members of the board, Superintendent Young, Rodrigo Contreras, CSEA Lodi 77 President. I do not have much to say tonight, but thank you from your classified employees for extending the health and benefits package that allows us to tailor the specific needs of our members in a way that we can assist our members the most with their medical needs for them and their families. Thank you. Also, I would like to see the LEA come to an agreement with Lodi Unified where they can be made full. I mean, hearing that they haven't settled their 1.07 retro, I mean, it's kind of sad. It is. I mean, it's not much money. No one's going to get rich on it. I mean, they are struggling. We are struggling. I understand they're struggling. I would really like to hear good news from them. Thank you.
Thank you all. We're going to our comments from the board members.
I don't have much today. Getting ready for BSM Kaizen. So I start tomorrow in Sunnyvale, so I gotta do the long commute for 2 hours, so I'm good.
I have no. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, I have two. I'm sorry.
Okay.
One is now that we have more breaks for, because of the 7-period day at the high school level, and we have more meetings. I'm sorry. We have more meetings and so forth. I'd like to see us take agendized notes and have them public displayed on the websites of each school. That way, if I want to check in and see what the science department's doing or the English department's doing, or as a parent, I can see what's going on when they're doing their curricular talks or so forth, when they're meeting. I think a lot of that would be great for parents so they can just click in. This is done at other schools, or even our committee meetings that we have, that you have with your advisory board. That should be out for the public to see. So I would like to see more agendized notes coming up from the meetings and made available for people to look at from different websites, either school websites or the district websites. There should be no need to, I would like to know what's going on at the board meeting. It's okay. Why isn't there notes published from the meeting and what occurred? I think that's just fair. We are a public school, public entity. Get that stuff out. The other thing is, what is the process going on with Vinewood? I know that we are, where are we? This is for you or for you?
Oh. Members of the board, a meeting will be scheduled with the facilities subcommittee, and that's what I shared with the Vinewood group that was present. We will discuss it there, and then from the subcommittee, we will bring next steps back to the board for consideration.
And then what's happening in the meantime? Is construction continuing?
Construction is continuing on the shade structure, the landscaping, and all of those items. The question regarding the bus pull-in on Virginia Street, that is currently delayed until October break. There was concerns about construction during classroom time, and then that would be part of the discussion we have when we meet here shortly.
So do we have construction going on while kids are in class?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I find that really unacceptable. And I think as a board, we need to tonight maybe forward a consensus of how we feel about that. Because we have construction going on, they're within, what, 50 feet of the classrooms, and this is affecting learning, and we're all about student achievement. I brought that up earlier with the ELP. We have a board here present. We could give some type of consensus on how we feel about that.
I would caution you that while the contractors are completing the lunch shelter and getting it done before we get into that season, that is the big completion that they're trying to make right now so that the landscaping can go in the fall. Understanding the pull-in, understanding the parking lot are two major items, My concern is the fenced off area where they are completing the lunch shelter. I don't advise the board to stop that piece of it. I know that originally it was a request because of a lunch with a loved one, but ultimately they're right in the middle of it. And so I would look at that one separately because we've already are stopping until we can have that subcommittee meeting.
Okay, but my question was during school time. Not.
It's during regular work hours, yes. So that would be during school time.
We can't work on weekends. We can't work from 3 to 5 or 6 or 7 during the week. Might slow it down a little bit, give us time. I mean, it is affecting learning.
I can certainly discuss it with Mrs. Holbert to see if that's a possibility based on the contract we've signed with the contractor.
Okay. Because you had a meeting, people expressed concerns, construction's still continuing. I did hear from a few board members that they're upset that kids had to put up with construction during learning, but yet it still continues. That's what happened 2 weeks ago. I'm just sharing with what was said at that time. So we had a meeting and still it continues. You see where I'm going with this?
Yes, but I would disagree with how you're characterizing that because the bus pull-in, the concerns were brought by you at a previous board meeting. We worked to put a pause on that additional work that was brought up at the board meeting, and we put a pause on it so it wouldn't be happening during the school year. We're trying to get that done over the October break. Will be after the time that we meet with the subcommittee to hear back from them. The completion of the lunch shelter is the one piece that needs to be done in order to then do the landscaping so that the concerns that are also being brought up from the Vinewood community about having landscaping, grass, plants, things of that nature can be done.
Well, I'm only sharing, I believe Mr. Nava also stepped in on we shouldn't have construction during school time.
Which is why we moved that one piece, but I guess I misunderstood. It was the additional sound.
I'm pretty clear when Mr. Nava speaks. I've listened. So.
Yeah, well, I mean, we can certainly look at it. There's no intention of not.
Mr. Nava to talk about, but I know I was in favor of not doing the construction while learning was going on. I knew when Mr. Nava said the same thing as I did. So.
Okay.
I have concerns about any construction work going during the class periods.
Mm-hmm.
It's tough for the teachers, tough for the students, and I recommend that you do it on weekends, after school, before school, or any other time that is feasible.
And I just share with both of you, in anticipation of Lodi Middle, which is scheduled to take 2.5 years, I don't think it's feasible to do the amount of work that needs to be done on weekends and in the evenings. So there is going to be some work that has to be done. Now we can discuss Vinewood and see if the final pieces can be changed, but when we are doing major renovations, those are going to go year round, and that's going to include during the school year. I don't know how it's feasible to complete that work otherwise.
Not to jump in, but Lodi Middle, you're dealing with an older age group, different situation. I know construction was going on at the high school level. Here you're dealing with K through 6, and you have a proximity issue. So I think we're comparing apples to oranges here. Vinewood, the construction is quite close to the classrooms. So I don't know where you're going with Lodi Middle.
Well, what I'm trying to point out is there's a lot of work that gets done throughout the district, and some of that is done during the school day. So to not do work during the school day, I'm concerned will really push back the completion of work that needs to be done. But as far as Vinewood goes, is that apple we can look at and see if it's possible with the contract that is already in place with the contractor to see if that's possible based on what we have in place.
Okay.
How much of this project is left at Vinewood for the lunch shelters?
I don't have it exactly. Mrs. Holbert would have to get back to us on that based on what it is. Well, other than a lot from the crowd.
I know, I'm to respectfully ask, nobody from the board talks when the public comments, so I would request the same respect for your board members sitting here. They're all older than me and I wouldn't talk when they're talking. So thank you.
So I will just say Mrs. Holbert can look into it, get specific contractor information as to the timeline in order to complete that project.
Okay. Well, I think the board is requesting for reduction in noise, reduction in disturbance for our students, for our teachers, and I understand the projects need to be done. But if you can kind of give us some resolution as to how much time is left in this project, what can be done to change the schedule so this disruption can be reduced.
I will certainly update the board on what's possible.
Thank you. Don't wait till the next board meeting though.
I will update the board sooner than the next board meeting.
Thank you. Any other board comments? Yes.
Yeah, so, this is more on a personal note. I think I sent Michelle some pictures. Courtney and I said we were gonna do a triathlon, so
You didn't, did you?
yeah, I did. We actually did do it, and we finished first in the men's relay with 197 years between us. And we had two board members, and the other person was also a big donor of Lodi, like the Dave Phillips, Don Womble's Field, one of the major sponsors there, but also very Lodi-centric. All 6 of our kids graduated at Lodi High, 4 of them are bilingual, all 6 participated in sports, all 6 graduated college as of last May, 2 masters among our kids, and 4 bilingual, thank you Joe Cerna, and 4 teachers actually came to cheer us on. Well, they were already there, but. And they weren't our relatives, so.
And we won.
We won for that. Don't have that many teams.
I'll just limit my comments. Michael, happy birthday. We'll get everybody out of here hopefully.
Yeah.
So thank you for everybody's time.
Thank you. Keeping it short, no comments from me. I appreciate everybody's time, and I do hope that we are respectful to each other as always. Thank you.